Hello Uplanders, this is a memento of Tom Brady. I'm going to show you exactly what these are and how you can go about minting them. Each memento is a unique one-of-one NFT, where for each player of each game there is both a jersey and a cap. Minted to the NFT are the statistics of that player's game. You can also see that there are the top 5 statistics for each different position, and you can see that each one of these has the opportunity to catch fire. Catching fire means that this player had an exceptional game when compared to his career statistics for that specific stat. If the player has an exceptional game and has 3, 4, or 5 fire statistics, then this legit will be part of the Fire collection, which is an ultra rare collection, giving you a large fan score boost. In addition to these top 5 statistics, you can see some additional stats down here and understand exactly how well this player played in that game. Owning mementos is really important if you're looking to increase your fan score. You are able to add them to collections and get additional boosted fan points. You can see the eligibility of the different collections from the legit itself. If you want some other reasons why you might want to increase your fan score, take a look at the video in the upper right hand corner. One of the exciting things about the Upland Metaverse is that it's mapped to the real world. If you want to mint a memento of a specific player at a game, you have to travel to the stadium where that game is being played. In the real world, if you travel to a football game, after the game itself, you might be able to get an autograph of your favorite player as they come out of the stadium. And the same thing will be able to happen in the future in Upland. Being at the right place at the right time is very important in the metaverse. So in order to mint a memento, you have to travel to where the game is being played. I'm going to explain how to prepare and determine where you want to travel, and also how to register for these memento sales and how to mint them. The first thing you want to do is plan your week. If you want to mint mementos of several different players on different teams, you're going to have to figure out the NFL schedule and also have a good grasp of where each of these games are being played. To simplify things, if you only follow one team, it makes it a lot easier as you can just follow that team around based on their schedule. Let's say, for example, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan and I want to mint their mementos of this game. I'm just going to head over to Google and search for the schedule and see who's playing when. I can see that in this game, the Cincinnati Bengals are the ones hosting the Miami Dolphins. Now, in Upland, you have to go and travel to the city where the game is being played. Now, if you don't know exactly where Cincinnati plays, you can go ahead and search for Cincinnati and find that they are actually playing in Cleveland. When Cincinnati gets released into the metaverse, you can be sure that you are able to mint mementos from that stadium. Now here we can see for the game for mementos, we have 1 hour and 23 minutes until early registration ends. Here I am able to select either Cincinnati or Miami as the team that I want to register for to mint mementos. So I'm going to select register for Miami. You do not actually have to be at this stadium or shop in order to register. However, if you do want to mint a memento, as I mentioned before, you do have to travel to this city. Now, I'm going to want to confirm this, but there is a lot of important information here that I'm just going to go over briefly. It says after registration is confirmed, you will not be able to register for another team's early sale at this location on the same day. When registration ends, we will notify you whether you are one of the lucky fans that can access the early sale and mint a one-of-a-kind Miami game for memento while supplies last. So you are able to register for other games as long as they are not being played in the exact same stadium. And if you want to mint a memento, you're going to have to make sure that you travel and be there in time to mint when your time is called. If you miss your opportunity to mint, all of the best players might likely already be purchased, and you will not have the opportunity to mint something that you were hoping to get. From the time you register to the time that you receive the email notifying you what spot you are in line, there are a number of things that you can do to better prepare yourself to get a memento that you want. In order to have the opportunity to be one of the first players into the store in order to mint whatever memento you would like, you will want to have a larger fan score. Having a higher fan score will give you better odds of being first in line. After I register, I'm still able to work to increase my fan score if I want, up until this timer runs out. When the timer runs out, then the fan score is locked, and based on that, your spot in line will be determined. In order to increase your fan score, you can buy mementos or essentials from player-run fan shops, or you can go to the NFLPA stadium or store in order to mint essentials. The second thing you're going to want to do is to have an understanding of the different players and know which players you will want to mint. You will want to have a plan A, B, C, D, etc. in the off chance that you are not one of the first players in the store and the other mementos that you want are actually bought up. And lastly, you're going to want to know how long it's going to take you to travel to where this game is being played. Once you receive that notification of what spot you are in line, if you're not already in that city, you're going to want to travel there and you want to know how long it's going to take you and how much it's going to cost you. And for that, you can use the Upland Guide Travel Bot. The link to this is in the description below, and with a simple command, $from city to city, it will tell you both the cheapest and fastest routes to travel. In this instance, we can see that we can get to Cleveland from Kansas City in two different ways, either by taking a train from Kansas City to Chicago and another train to Cleveland, or we can take a plane from Kansas City to Chicago and the Hyperloop from Chicago to Cleveland. Typically, you might want to choose the cheapest way of getting there, but if you're pressed for time and you need to get there in order to be the first in line, you might realize that spending the extra approximately 400 UPIX is going to be worth it in order to save almost an hour and a half of travel time. After calculating the optimum travel routes, you're going to want to make a decision as to whether you're going to start traveling before you receive the email notification about what spot you are in line or afterwards. And of course, you're then going to want to travel. You're going to want to make sure that you have enough cents in order to get you to that stadium without running out of them on your way there. And I'm going to say it one more time. When you're minting mementos from Miami, you're not necessarily traveling to the stadium where Miami calls home. You have to travel to the stadium where the game is being played. And here, Cincinnati is the home team. So we are going to be traveling to Cleveland, which is where Cincinnati calls home until Cincinnati enters the metaverse. After traveling to the stadium where the game is being played, you are now able to mint your mementos. There are three different types of sales that are important to know, each with their own rules on when you can mint the memento. There is the early sale, the limited sale, and the unlimited sale. The early sale is for players who registered, as I showed you how to do that before. If you were lucky enough to be one of the first players inside the shop as part of the early sale, that means that you have a first opportunity to mint that specific memento that you'd like before other players have the chance. You are going to want to be decisive and to know exactly who you want to mint because there are other players in the store simultaneously and they might buy the memento that you want before you. When you enter the shop, you should search for the player's name here in order to narrow down the options that you have of what to buy. Once you select the player's memento you'd like to buy, you can just click on the price here, confirm, and you should be able to mint it. If you receive this error that says your block explorer must be in discovery range to perform this action, that means that you did not send yourself to the stadium or that you started wandering away and you are no longer in range of it. You would have to send yourself back to that stadium. Now, another important piece of information regarding fan scores for the early registration is that if you are in the top 100 players for a specific team when registering, and whether you mint a memento or not, you will have a temporary fan score penalty for 4 games. Your fan score will be temporarily decreased to ensure that other players also have opportunities to be at the front of the line and that it isn't the same players over and over again who are the first ones inside the shop. Once again, having the top fan score does not guarantee that you will be the first in line. However, it does give you better odds. So if you do receive one of these penalties and your fan score decreases temporarily and the next game you are still able to be in the top 100, then this penalty will compound. It's also important to note the closer to the front of the line you are, the larger the penalty will be. So it's important to take this into account when you're registering for early sales of different teams. Once the early sale is complete, the limited sale begins. In the limited sale, anybody is able to mint a memento, but once again, you have to be in range of the stadium itself. After you mint a memento, you will have a 5-minute cooldown before you will be able to mint another memento. The limited sale will continue until several hours after the actual game has been completed. Then players will be able to mint mementos as part of the unlimited sale. In the unlimited sale, the only thing that is no longer relevant is the 5-minute cooldown. So you will be able to mint however many mementos you like, one after another, without any restrictions. Make sure to be watching the games itself and keeping a track of what mementos have been bought or not, because as the game progresses, you might see a player whose memento has not been purchased having a breakout game, and you can go ahead and purchase that memento immediately during the game, maybe after he just got a great interception or scored a touchdown. You're going to want to keep an eye out for these rare and ultra rare collections. The time capsule rare collection is owned 3 mementos or replicas from the same winning game. So if you see that your team is winning, you might want to get some more mementos. And the ultra rare fire collection is owned 3 mementos or replicas with at least 3 fire stats. So this again is for players who have breakout games. They will have that flame next to their statistic. You can have anywhere from 0 to 5 stats that reach on fire. These collections require you to have either mementos or replicas. Up until now, I've only talked about mementos because replicas do not currently exist within Upland as of September of 2022. Replicas are essentially replicas of mementos. Mementos we know are one of ones, and replicas will be copies of those one of ones, but have many mint numbers. It's unclear exactly how many there will be, but in order to create a replica, you will have to merge 5 different essentials in order to get a replica and hope that it is one that you require. You can learn more about replicas in the link in the description below or the video link in the upper right hand corner. The Upland Guide website is a great resource to learn more about this. Often information gets updated, so I highly recommend that you also read up on the website. If you have any questions about legits or football, leave them in the comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and continue watching the videos below to learn more about NFLPA Legits.